Hello dear students, today we have a very interesting topic with us and the name of the topic is data sufficiency. And if I talk about this topic and specifically from UPSC CSAT point of view, then this topic came to the picture in CSAT, this topic introduced in CSAT in 2019. And in 2019 UPSC have asked around 2 questions from this topic, right? But in 2020 they have asked around 6 questions from this topic, right? So obviously the weightage has suddenly increased. So in 2021 if I talk about, then we can expect around 3 to 5 questions from this topic, and this is my understanding of UPSC. Please don't try to generalize this like UPSC is going to ask 3 to 5 questions from data sufficiency. It is not like that. This is my understanding, which I can assess from the pattern of UPSC exam from last 2-3 years, right? So I can say that we may get around 3 to 5 questions from this topic in 2021 question paper, right? So this topic is an important topic from 2021 CSAT point of view, right? And if I talk about the introduction of this topic, in this topic question can be based from any of the topics in mathematics, or you can say in quantitative ability, quantitative aptitude, or from general mental ability or reasoning, right? So questions can be based on any of the topics, right? But here what happens is all the information is not given in one sentence, right? All the information, the complete question is not given in one sentence. The first sentence is only the question statement, right? The first sentence is only the question statement, which is followed by two or three statements, right? S1, S2 and S3, right? I repeat, in this type of question there is one question statement which is followed by 2-3 statements, right? So in these 3 statements or in the followed statements, some informations are there regarding the question statement itself, fine. And then we have 4 options: option 1, option 2, option 3 and option 4, right? So 4 options, the statement number 1 alone is sufficient to answer this question. Statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer this question. Or statement S1 and S2 together is sufficient to answer this question. Or let's say the 4th option may be none of the above, or the 4th option may be either S1 or S2 alone. Either S1 or S2 alone is sufficient to answer this question, right? So many combinations are possible of the options, right? So this is a type of question, right? And how to solve this type of questions, friends? Let me tell you here. When we read one statement, every statement should be treated individually, right? Every statement should be treated individual. Okay, right? When we are reading statement number 1, we should check all the informations are given to solve this question in statement number 1 or not, whether statement number 1 alone is sufficient to solve the question or not, right? Now when we move to statement number 2, right? When we move to statement number 2, then we just need to read statement number 2 as an individual statement, and now we should forget about statement number 1, right? Or when we are reading statement number 3, then we should read only statement number 3 and we should read the first 2 we should forget the first 2 statements, fine. Okay, so here the question are like this only, right? And this is the approach. And friends, let me tell you one important thing. When we say statement number S1 alone is sufficient to answer this question, sufficiency, right? Sufficient. Some statement alone is sufficient to answer this question. Sufficient means we need to find a unique answer, right? If the given statement is sufficient, it means it means we are finding a unique answer, right? If the answer is not unique, everyone, if the answer is not unique, then we can't say that the given statement is sufficient to find the answer. right? So uniqueness is an important aspect of these type of questions, right? And one more thing, it may happen that we are getting different answers from different statements. We are getting different answers from different statements, right? Okay, it may happen that we are getting different answers from different statements, but if we are getting different answers from different statements, then we can say only one statement alone is sufficient to give you the answer, right? And friends, one more thing, if we are getting the answer from one statement and if we are getting the answer from two statements together, then the answer from one statement will be preferred. I repeat, if we are getting answer from one statement, let's say we are getting the answer from S1 alone, right? And if we are getting the answer from S2 and S3 together, right? Okay, then the preference will be given to S1 alone, right? I repeat, if we are getting the answer from one statement alone and if we are getting the answer from other two statements combining together, then the preference will be given to statement number S1 alone, right? This answer would be selected as an option if only one option is correct from the given options, right? Everybody fine? Okay, so this is the type and this is the approach of data sufficiency questions. Now we are coming to the questions. So everyone, in this video I'm solving around 24 questions, right? So that your concept will be like will be concrete, right? And one more request I have, right? Everyone, I have given a PDF based on this topic only, which is available in the description of this video, right? So link is available in the description of this video. So please try to download that video, and this PPT is also given in the description, right? So link of this PPT is also given in the description. So please try to download that video, that PPT also, right? So please try to download these two PDF and these two documents before starting this video, right? And please go through those go through those documents first before starting this video, right? So that you will get this topic in a concrete manner, right? Everyone fine? So now let's start with the questions. So the first question says, who is the tallest among P, Q, R, S and T, right? So everyone, I'm talking about the first statement alone, right? The first statement alone says S is shorter than Q. S is shorter than Q. P is shorter than only T, right? Everybody, only T, right? P is shorter than only T. Only T means what? Only T means T is the tallest and P is the second tallest person, right? S is shorter than Q, that is fine. S is shorter than Q. Okay, so from first statement alone we can say T is the tallest person, right? Now let's talk about the second statement alone. Q is the taller than only S. Q is the taller than only S. It means what? S is the shortest person and Q is the second shortest person, right? T is taller than P and R. So T is taller than P and R. Nothing can be said about the height of P and R, but one thing is for sure, T is the tallest person, which is based on second statement, right? So everyone, from the first statement alone we can say T is the tallest, and from second statement alone we can say T is the tallest, right? So here either first or second statement alone is sufficient to give you the answer, right? So choice number 3, either statement number 1 alone or statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer this question, right? So option number 3 will be the right choice. All right, so these are the question, this is the type of the question which are very easy actually, right? Provided if you know the concept how to solve these type of questions, right? Now let's talk about the other question. Okay, next question says, how is face written in that code language? Okay, fine. So now we are reading first statement alone. In a certain code language, no one with face is coded as FOTOOMSOP, right? No one with face, okay? And no one has face. See everyone, in these two statements, no one with face and no one has face, right? Three words are common, no one and face, right? I'm talking about the first statement. Three words are common, no one and face, right? Now if we talk about the codes, so OM, SOP, right? OM, SOP, FO. Three codes are common, right? But here we can't say which code is standing for which word, right? So from first statement alone, we can't give you the answer. Okay. Now if we talk about the second statement alone. So in a certain code language, face of no light is coded as this, and no one is smart, right? So face of no light and no one is smart. So no is common in these two statements, right? And obviously FO is common. So no stands for FO. That is clear from second statement alone. But from second statement alone, we can't give you the answer. Like, what is the code for face, right? Now, if we combine these two statements together, just try to read this. No one with face, face of no light. In these two statements, face is common. No one with face, face of no light, right? So face word is common, and in this code, FOTOOMSOP, OMMOTFOKIZ, right? KIZ, in fact Z, right? So OM is common, right? So face is coded as OM. Okay everyone, right? So when we are combining these two statements together, we are getting the answer. Face is coded as OM, right? So it means what? Which option will be the right answer? Both statements 1 and 2 together are necessary to answer the question, right? Everyone, choice number 4, both the statements together are necessary to answer this question, right? Alright, now let's talk about the next question. Okay, what is Monika's position with respect to Rahul? Okay, fine. So in a row of 25 students, Monika is sitting 12th from right end and Rahul is sitting 20th from the left end of the row. Okay, fine. So there are 25 students, right? So this is left end and this is right end. So Monika is sitting 12th from the right end. So Monika is sitting 12th. Let's say 11 students are there and Monika is here. And Rahul is 20th. So Rahul, let's say this is Rahul and 19th student before Rahul, right? So now obviously we can find how many students are there between Monika and Rahul, right? But I'm not calculating anything. I can definitely say from the given statement number 1 alone we can find the answer, right? I'm not finding the complete answer because it is not required to find the complete answer over here, right? We just need to check whether the given data is sufficient to determine the answer or not, right? Okay, so statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find the answer, right? Now if we talk about the statement number 2 alone, statement number 2 alone says Monika is 4th from the right end and Rahul is 8th from the left end, but here total number of student is missing, right? So in statement number 2 alone, total number of student is missing, right everyone? So fine, here in this question, statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find the answer, right? So first choice would be selected as an answer, right? Option number 1. Okay, statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find the answer. All right everyone, let's talk about the next question. Okay, who has secured least marks among P, Q, R, S and T? Okay, fine. Now let's talk about the first statement alone. S has secured less marks than only R and T. S has secured less marks than only R and T. Okay, so R and T are securing first and second position, but nobody knows who is first and who is second. and S is on the third position. That is for sure, right? And P and Q are the respectively fourth and fifth position. I mean, P and Q are securing fourth or fifth position, but nobody knows who is fourth and who is fifth. So from the statement number 1 alone, we are not able to decide who is securing the least marks, right? Now from statement number 2 alone, statement number 2 alone says Q secured more marks than P. Okay, so statement number 2 alone says Q secured more marks than P. Fine, but it is not telling who is the least scorer, right? But when we are combining these two statements together, we can definitely say P is the least, and then Q, and then S, and then RT. But about RT, we don't know who is like the greater one, right? But definitely P is the least scorer, right? So P has secured the least marks. All right. So when we are combining these two statements together, then we are getting the answer. So correct choice will be both statements first and second are necessary to find the statement, to find the answer, right? Okay, let's talk about the next question. All right. Next question is, on which floor is Shikha residing? Okay. So question is saying, in a 6-story building, ground floor is parking space, Rekha is on 4th floor. Okay. Shikha likes to reside only on even numbered floor. Rima is not on the topmost floor. Okay. So from the statement number 1 alone, if we talk, so this is 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1, right? So from statement number 1 alone, what we can conclude is Rekha is on 4th floor. Okay, fine. So this floor is gone to Rekha, right? Okay, Shikha likes to reside only on even numbered floors. So choice for Shikha is either 6th or 2nd, because 4th is already gone to Rekha, right? Okay, Rima is not on the topmost floor. Okay, fine. So Rima is not on the topmost floor. But here we are not able to decide where Shikha is residing, right? Okay, fine. Now let's talk about the second statement alone. Second statement alone says Rima is 2 floor below Peter, who is 3 floor above Shikha. See everyone, Peter is 3 floors above Shikha. It means what? It means Shikha can reside either on 1st floor, on 2nd floor or on 3rd floor. I repeat, 3 floors above Shikha. Peter is 3 floors above Shikha. It means Shikha can live either on 1st floor, on 2nd floor or on 3rd floor, right? Okay, so Peter is 3 floors above Shikha. It means what? If Shikha is on 1st floor, then Peter will be on 4th floor. If Shikha is on 2nd floor, then Peter will be on 5th floor. If Shikha is on 3rd floor, then Peter will be on 6th floor, right? Okay. So everyone, but from this statement alone, we cannot say where Shikha is residing, right? On which floor. But when we combine these two statements, right everybody, when we combine these two statements, so we have this information with us that for Shikha, there are 3 options, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And from this statement says Shikha, first statement says Shikha likes to reside only on even numbered floor, right? So when we combine these two statements together, we can say Shikha is definitely living on 2nd floor, right? Because the choices for Shikha is 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and she likes only even numbered floor. So she is living on 2nd floor, right? It means when we combine these two statements together, then we are getting the answer of this question, right? So both the statements 1st and 2 together are necessary to answer this question. Okay, everyone, fine. So now let's talk about the next question. Okay, next question says Amit is facing which direction? All right. So first statement alone says Shikha facing east direction, and if she turns to her right, she will face Raj. Okay, so from the first statement alone, what do we have? This is north, south, east, west, right? Shikha is facing east direction. Okay, so Shikha's face like this. Okay, when she turns right, she is facing Raj. Okay, it means what? Raj is facing towards north. Okay, fine. Alright. But from this statement alone, we cannot say Amit is facing in which direction, because in first statement Amit is not in the picture. Right? So first statement alone is not sufficient to answer this question. Now let's talk about the second statement alone. So second statement alone says Amit is facing opposite direction as that of Kiran, who is facing Shikha. Okay. So obviously in second statement nothing has been said about Shikha. Right everyone? So second statement also alone is not sufficient to answer this question. But when we combine these two statements together, so second statement is saying Amit is facing opposite that of Kiran, who is facing Shikha. Fine. So Shikha is facing here. So Kiran must be facing here. So Amit is facing opposite to Kiran. So Amit must be facing here. Right everyone? So Amit must be facing east direction when we combined these two statements together. Right? Then only we can conclude it. Fine. So the answer is both the statements first and second together are necessary to answer this question. Right everyone? Fine. It's very simple question, right? Okay. Now let's talk about the other question. Fine. In which month Meena's birthday? Right. So now let's talk about the first statement alone. Shikha remembered that Meena's birthday was 4 months ago. Okay. So 4 months ago it is fine, but which month is going on nobody knows. Right. Alright. So from the first statement alone we can't give you the answer. Right. Now let's talk about the second statement alone. Okay. So second statement alone says Raj remembers that 2 months from now Meena's birthday will be 6 months back. So 2 months from now, 6 months back. Okay. So again 4 months ago, right? This implies 4 months ago. Okay. So everyone here, both the statements are saying the same thing, right? But which month is going on, we don't know here, right? This is not in the information that which month is going on. So we cannot say in which month Meena's birthday was there. Right? So here if we combine both the two statements, then also we won't be able to find the right answer. Right? So here both the statements first and second together are not sufficient to answer this question. Right? So we will choose third option. Both the statements together are not sufficient to find the right answer. Okay everyone? Fine. Alright. So now let's talk about the next question. Okay. Next question says, how is product written in that code language? Right? Okay. So first statement alone says in a certain code language AIEEE is written as BJFF. So everyone, A is going to B, I is going to J, E is going to F. Right? It means what? Every letter is moving to its next letter. Right? Every letter is moving to its next letter. Right? So it means the first statement alone is sufficient to find the correct answer. Okay. Alright. Now let's talk about the second statement alone. In a certain code language, Gypsy is written as FXORX. So G is coded as F, Y is coded as X, P is coded as O, S is coded as R, and Y is again coded as X. It means what? Every letter is moving to its previous letter. Right everyone? Every letter is moving to its previous letter. It means what? Second alone statement is sufficient to answer this question. Right? So whether from the first statement alone we are getting the answer and from the second statement alone we are getting the answer. Right everybody? So in this question, from both the statements individually we are getting a different answer. Right? But both the statements individually are sufficient to give you the answer. Right everyone? So the correct answer will be chosen as either statement number 1 alone or statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Okay everyone? Fine. this is a good example of data sufficiency, because here in both the statements we are getting the answer, and in both the statements we are getting the different answer, right? But both the statements simultaneously are sufficient. I mean, individually are sufficient to give you the answer. Right, everybody? Both the statements individually are sufficient to give you the answer. Right? Okay. So this is a very good question of data sufficiency. Right? Alright. Now let's move to another question. Okay. Next question says, among the 4 friends P, Q, R and S who works for the most hours, each works for different number of hours. Okay. So if we talk about the first statement alone, first statement says P works less than Q. Okay. P works less than Q. Alright. P works less than Q. S works less than both P and R. S works less than both P and R. Okay. Where is R? Nobody knows. R may be here, or R may be here, or R may be in the top also. Nobody knows. Right? P works less than Q. S works less than both P and R. Right? Okay. So we really don't know where R is lying. Fine. So R may be here also, or R may be here also, or R may be here also. Right? So R may be anywhere. So from the first statement alone, we are not getting the answer. Now, the second statement alone, R works less than Q but more than S. So from the second statement alone, R works less than Q but more than S. Okay. P works more than R but not the most. P works more than R but not the most. Okay, fine. So everyone here, obviously from second statement alone we can give the right answer. Q is working the most, right? So from second statement alone we can give you the correct answer, right? Q is working the most. Fine. So here answer number 2, option number 2 will be the right choice. Statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Right, everybody? Fine. Okay. Now let's talk about the next question. Fine. Next question says, on which day of the week did Raman leave for Dubai? Okay. So first statement alone says Raman did not leave for Dubai during the weekend. Fine, it is okay, but on which day he is leaving, it is not clear from the first statement alone, right? So from first statement we can't give you the answer. Now from second statement alone, Raman's brother left for Dubai on Friday, 2 days after Raman left for Dubai. Okay, so it means what? It means Raman is leaving on Wednesday, because 2 days after is Friday. On that day Raman's brother is leaving, right? So it means Raman is leaving on Wednesday. Okay, everyone, Raman is leaving on Wednesday. Fine. So second statement alone is sufficient to answer the question, right? So here statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question, right? All right. Now let's move to another one. Okay. Next question says how C is related to A. Okay. So statement number 1 alone is saying A is the son of B. A is the son of B. A is the son, it means A is the male, right? So A is the son of B and D is the husband of B. Okay, it means D is the male and B is female, right? B and D are married couple and their son is A. So from statement number 1 alone we have this much information only, but here C is not mentioned in statement number 1 alone. So we cannot give you the correct relationship about A and C from statement number 1 alone, right? Now let's talk about the statement number 2 alone. So statement number 2 says F is married to C. Okay, so F and C are the married couple. Fine. C has 2 children D and E. Okay, they have 2 children D and E. Fine. D is the father of A. D is the father. It means D is male. D is the father of A. Okay. So from statement number 2 alone, we cannot tell you about the exact relationship between C and A. Why? Because here C may be the grandson, C may be the grandfather or maybe the grandmother of A. I repeat, C may be the grandfather or maybe the grandmother of A because we don't know the gender of C. Everyone, C may be the grandfather or maybe the grandmother of A. Fine. Okay. Now let's combine these two statements together, right? So these two statements, when we combine, so first statement says A is the son of B, D is the husband of B, D is the husband of B. Okay. So B and D are married couple and A is the son of B. Son means male, right? So everyone, when we combine these two statements together, then we have this figure, right? But in this figure also, we cannot tell you how C is related to A. C may be grandfather or grandmother, right? C may be grandfather or grandmother of A, right? Because the gender of C is not known. Everyone, here the gender of C is not known. So C may be grandfather or maybe grandmother of A, right? But on the other hand, if the question was how A is related to C, right everyone? If the question was how A is related to C, then the answer would have been A is grandson of C. A is grandson of C, right everybody? If the question was how A is related to C, then the answer was A is grandson of C. But here the question is, I'm here on the question, but the question is how C is related to A. So C may be grandson or grandmother of A, right? So obviously when we are combining these two statements, even then we are not able to find the right answer, right everybody? So correct answer will be answer number C. Both the statements first and second together are not sufficient to find the answer. Okay everyone, right? It is again a good question. Okay, now let's talk about the next one. Fine. Next question says, how many students are there between Ram and Aditya of a row of 40 students? Fine. Let's talk about the first statement alone. The first statement alone says Ram is 7th from the left end, Aditya is 17th from the right end. Okay, fine. So from first statement alone we can give you the right answer because there are 14 students and this is left end and this is right end. So Ram is 7th from the left end. Fine. So this is Ram and 6 students are there and this is 17th. So 16 students are there and this is Aditya. So we can find the exact number how many students are there between Ram and Aditya. Okay, but it is not needed to find the right answer, but we are just checking whether the given data is sufficient to find the answer or not. Yes, the given data is sufficient. So from statement number 1 alone we can find the answer. Now let's talk about the statement number 2 alone. Ram is 6 places away from Jenny, who is 20th from the left end. Ram is 6 places from Jenny, who is 20th from the left end. But where is Aditya? Aditya is missing in the second statement, right? So we cannot tell you the exact number how many students are there between Ram and Aditya, right? So second statement alone is not sufficient to find the right answer. Okay everyone, so statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find the answer. So here statement number 1, I mean correct option will be right, the right choice will be the first option. Statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find the right answer. Okay everyone, fine. So now let's talk about the next question. Okay, next question says, how is green written in a code language? How is green written? So first statement alone says green and black is coded as #7. Okay, orange and pink, fine. Orange and pink is coded as $%#. It means what? Hash it is coded as and. So from the first statement, we can only tell hash is coded as AND. But the question says how is green is coded, right? So first statement alone is not sufficient to find the answer, right? Now, if we talk about the second statement alone says pink and red is coded as hash $8. Okay. Yellow and green is coded as 6 at the rate hash. Okay. So everyone, these two statements, this one and this one, right? If we combine these two statements together, right, we can tell you green is coded as at, because we already know and is coded as hash, right? So when we are combining these two statements together, we can tell you green is coded as at the rate, right everyone? So obviously this answer we are getting when we are combining these two statements together, right? So both the statements first and second are together are sufficient to find the correct answer. Okay everyone, so both the statements together are sufficient to find the correct answer. Alright friends, now let's talk about the next question. Okay. Next question says, in which month did Rahul go to Kanpur for business? So let's talk about the first statement alone. First statement says Rahul's son remembers that he went after 20th August but before 10th September. So from first statement alone, we can say he went either in the month of August or in September, right? But not the exact month, right? So first statement alone is not sufficient to find you the answer. Okay, now let's talk about the second statement alone. Varun, friend of Rahul, remembers that he went to Kanpur in third quarter of fiscal year. So everyone, fiscal year is considered from 1st January to 31st December, right? Okay, and obviously it is divided into 4 quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4, right? So if we talk about the third quarter is 7th, 8th and 9th month. So 7th is July, August and September, right? This is the third quarter. So obviously from second statement alone, we can say Rahul go to Kanpur for business in the month of either July, August or September, right? Even if we are combining these two statements together, even then we are not able to find the right answer, right? Fine. So because the first statement says he went either in August or September, and the third statement is saying he went either on July, August or September, right? Okay, so even when we are combining the two statements together, we are not able to decide the right answer. Okay, so option 3 would be the correct choice. Both statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient to answer the question. Okay everyone, so now let's move to the next one. Okay, next question says Madan's flat is on which floor of 5-floor apartment? Okay, the first statement alone says Harish's flat, which is exactly above to Madan, is exactly below Karan's flat, which is on 5th floor. Okay, so from first statement alone, what do we have? This is 5th floor, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st. Harish's flat, which is exactly above to Madan, is exactly below Karan, which is on 5th floor. Okay, Karan, Harish and Madan, right? So statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find whether Madan is residing. Madan is residing on 3rd floor, right? So statement number 1 alone is sufficient to find the answer, right? Now let's talk about the statement number 2 alone. Okay everyone, now let's talk about the statement number 2 alone. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Madan's flat is exactly above Gopal's flat, whose flat is exactly above Nitin's first floor flat. Okay, fine. So this is Nitin and this is Gopal and this is Madan, right? So here second statement alone also is sufficient to find the answer, right everyone? So in this question, either first statement alone or second statement alone is sufficient to find you the right, to give you the right answer, right? So here option number 4 will be the correct choice. Either statement number 1 or statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer this question, Right everyone, fine. So let's talk about the next question. Okay. How many pencils does the shopkeeper sells on Sunday? Right. Okay. So let's talk about the first statement alone. On Sunday, he sold 12 more pencils than he sold on the previous day. Previous day means Saturday. Right. Most probably the Saturday. Right. So on Sunday, he sold 12 more pencils than he sold on the previous day, but nothing has been said about the previous day. Right. Nothing has been said about the Saturday in this statement. So first statement alone is not giving you the right answer. Right. So now let's talk about the second statement alone. He sold 28 pencils each on Thursday and Saturday. Okay, but the question is asking about the Sunday. So from second statement alone, we are not able to decide how many pencils he sold on Sunday, right? But when we are combining these two statements together, we are able to decide, because on Saturday he is selling 28 and first statement says on Sunday he sold like 12 more than the previous day, so it means he sold 40 pencils on Sunday, right? So both the statements together are sufficient to give you the right answer. Okay everyone, fine. So here both the statements together are sufficient to give you the right answer. Alright, now let's talk about the next question. Okay. How many boys students are there in the class? Question says how many boys students are there in the class? Fine. So first statement alone, if we talk about 65% girl students are there in the class. Okay. How many boys students are there in the class? So first statement alone is not giving you any information about the number of boys. Fine. So second statement alone, the number of boys student is half that of girls. Okay. So again the second statement alone is not giving you the any information about the number of boys in the class. Okay, when we are combining these two statements, even then we are not able to decide how many boys are there in the class, right? Even if we are combining the two statements, we are not able to decide how many students are there in the class, right everyone? So correct option will be the third choice. Both statements together are not sufficient to give you the right answer. Okay, fine everyone. Right, now let's talk about the next question. Alright, so next question is, which of the 5 trains A, B, C, D and E is the best? Okay, so let's talk about the first statement alone. So first statement alone is saying train D is better than EAC but not as good as B. Okay, so first statement alone is telling you train B is the best. Why? Because D is better than EAC but not as good as B. Obviously, so B is the best. Fine. So here is B and D is better than EAC, right? So D is better than EAC but not as good as B, right? So obviously B is the best. Fine. Okay, so from statement number 1 alone we can give you the answer B is the best train. Now let's talk about the second statement alone, right? So train D is better than C. So train D is better than C but not as good as B, which is better than E, but not as good as B, which is better than E. Okay, fine. So where is E? We don't know. Fine. So E may be anywhere. But what about A? In this statement, nothing has been said about train A, right? So obviously second statement alone is not able to decide you the like to give you the right answer. Fine. So first statement alone is sufficient to give you the correct answer, right everyone? First statement alone is sufficient to give you the correct answer. All right everyone, fine. Okay, so now let's talk about the next question. All right, next question says, on which date in April is definitely Arun's father's birthday? Fine. So let's talk about the first statement alone. So first statement is saying Arun's correctly remembers that his father's birthday is before 22nd April but after 14th April. Fine. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21, right? So these many dates are possible. So obviously first statement alone is not giving you any information about the definite date of Arun's father's birthday. Fine. So let's talk about the second statement. So Arun's brother correctly remembers that his father's birthday is on like after 19th but before 28th. Okay. So 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th and 26th. Right. 27th, sorry. So these many dates are possible for his birthday. Fine. So obviously second statement alone is not giving you any answer. But when we are combining these two statements, even then also we are not able to decide the correct date because we have 20 and 21st, 20th and 21st. These two dates are common. Okay. So when we are combining these two statements, even then we are not able to decide. So correct answer will be both statement first and second together are not sufficient to answer, right? So here option 3 will be the right choice. Right, everybody? Fine. So now let's move to the next question. Okay. Next question says, how good is written in a code language? So first statement alone is only one statement. Good for all is coded as 921. So first statement alone is not able to decide. Even second statement alone we are not able to decide, right? But when we are combining these two statements, good for all and good you go. So good is common in these two and here 2 is common in these two, right? So good is coded as 2 in that code language, right? When we are combining these two statements, then only we can find the right answer. Okay. So both statements first and second together are necessary to answer this question. Okay, everyone, fine. All right. So now let's talk about the next question. Okay. Next question says, which direction is Nitin facing at the moment? Okay, fine. At the moment. This is an important phrase, right? Anyways, let's talk about the first statement alone. Nitin took 2 consecutive right turns after covering a distance of 6 meters to reach point X. Nitin took 2 consecutive right turns after covering a distance of 6 meters to reach point X. Okay, but here we are not able to decide in which direction he is facing. Fine. So first statement alone is not giving you any clue, right? Okay. Now let's talk about the second statement alone. After walking 4 minutes early morning from X, Nitin is facing opposite direction of sun. Okay. Fine. So this is north, south, east and west. Early morning, it means sun must be in the east. Fine. So obviously if this is point X, so Nitin is facing 4 meters away from 4 meters from X and he is facing opposite to the sun. Opposite to the sun means he is moving towards west, right? Everyone, he is moving towards west or he is facing towards west, right? So second statement alone is giving you the right answer. Nitin is facing towards west at the moment, right? So statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Okay, everyone, statement number 2 alone is sufficient to answer this question. All right, now let's talk about the next question. Okay, next question is, what was the grand total of red team of college XYZ? Okay, Manish correctly remember, first statement alone, Manish correctly remembers that red team scored a grand total above 82 but below 91. So first statement alone is not giving you any information. Now second statement alone, Arvind correctly remembers that red team scored above 77 but below 84. Okay, so it means 82 above but below 91. When we are combining these two statements, because obviously second statement alone is not giving you any information, right? So when we are combining these two statements together, we can conclude 83 was the grand total of the red team, right? Fine, 83 was the grand total because here in both the statements 83 will be the common number, right? So both statements first and second together are necessary to give you the correct answer. Okay, everyone, right? So now let's talk about the next question. Okay. Next question says, what is the total number of students in IT college? Sorry, in IT in college Z. Fine. So the number of students has grown by 5% this year as compared to 4% last year from the number 1000 which it was before last. Acha, okay. So first statement alone, if we are talking about, so let's say if this year is 2020, right? So before 1 year it was 2019, and before last year was 2018, right? So this year, that year the number was 1000, and after that it was a growth of 5%. So 5%, no, it was the growth of 4%. Okay, fine. So 4% growth. So 4% growth means 1040, and then it was a growth of 5%. So 5% of 1040. So 5% of 1000 is what? 50, and 5% of 40 is what? 2. So 52 was the growth. So 1040 plus 52, 1092, right? So obviously in 2020 the total number of students are 1092 as per the given information in statement number 1 alone, right? So from statement number 1 alone we can find the correct answer, right? Now let's talk about the statement number 2 alone. The respective ratio of boys and girls is 7:5. No, this statement is not giving you any information about the total number of students in IT branch. Fine, everyone. So statement number 1 alone is sufficient to give you the correct answer, right? So first option will be the correct choice, where statement number 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question, right? Now let's talk about the next question. Okay. Next question says, among U, V, W, X, Y, Z, who is the heaviest? Fine. First statement alone says U is heavier than Y and Z. U is heavier than Y and Z. Okay. And he is the second heaviest in the group. U is the second heaviest in the group. Fine. U is the second heaviest in the group. That is okay. But this statement alone is not giving you any information about the heaviest person in the group, right? Now let's talk about the second statement alone. X is heavier than V. X is heavier than V, but not the heaviest. Fine. So this statement alone is not giving you any information about the heaviest person in the group, right? So obviously let's talk about the combining both the statements. Fine. So when we are combining both the statements, then we are getting X is heavier than V but not the heaviest. X is heavier than V but not the heaviest. Okay, fine. So everyone, when we are combining these two statements together, we have this figure Y, Z, U, right? And this. So X is heavier than V. So they may be anywhere. Let's say it is V, and X is heavier than V, but it is not the heaviest. Then obviously W is the heaviest. W is the only one which is left. So obviously W is the heaviest. Fine. So when we are combining these two statements together, then we are able to decide the correct answer. But nothing can be said about the V, X, Y, Z, right? They may be anywhere, but that is for sure. U is the second heaviest, and W is the heaviest. These two things we are definite about, right? So obviously, when we are combining these two statements, then only we can tell you the correct answer. So both the statements together are necessary to find the answer. Okay, everyone, fine. So now let's talk about the next question. Okay. Oh, that's good. This topic is over. So everyone, hope you enjoyed the session. And yes, I would request one more time, please download the PPT of this video, and please download the PDF of this topic, which is available in the description. I mean, the link is given in the description of this video. Please download these two things to study. Before going to this video, you should just read this once. Try to find the solution of all the questions on your own, and then only watch this video so that you will get more clarity of this topic, right? So everybody, hope you enjoyed the session. Thanks for watching. Thank you everyone. Thank you.